The Galactic Coalition, a vast and powerful alliance of interstellar species, had always held a sense of superiority over humanity. To them, humans were a curiosity, a young species, barely scratching the surface of spacefaring capabilities. The Coalition's members had explored the galaxy for millennia, discovering advanced technologies, colonizing planets, and forming alliances that span light years. And yet, when Earth petitioned for membership in the Coalition, the older species had laughed. Captain Marcus Hale knew this all too well. As a representative of humanity in the Coalition, he had witnessed the condescension firsthand. The Coalition members didn't outright refuse humanity's application, but their dismissive attitude made it clear that Earth was not seen as an equal. The Grand Hall of the Coalition's capital ship, the Nebular Dawn, was a sight to behold, a floating citadel in the void, where hundreds of species convened to negotiate trade routes, peace treaties, and military alliances. Among these towering alien diplomats, Captain Hale stood alone, an outsider in this galaxy-spanning court. "Ah, Captain Hale," called out a familiar voice, dripping with mockery. It was Skor, a high-ranking officer of the Zelleran Empire, one of the Coalition's most influential species. Skor was a hulking figure, standing nearly twice Marcus's height, with shimmering blue scales and 3 piercing yellow eyes. "I see the humans are still trying to keep up with us. Tell me, how does it feel to be so behind the times?" The gathering of alien diplomats and officers chuckled, their voices echoing off the marble-like walls of the hall. Marcus clenched his fists, but kept his face impassive. He had learned long ago that responding to these taunts only emboldened them. "We're doing just fine, Skor," Marcus replied, his voice calm. "Humans have always been resourceful. It's what allowed us to make it this far." Kelna, a tall insectoid from the Ultronian collective, clicked her mandibles in a mocking gesture. "Resourceful? Perhaps, but resilient enough to survive among us?" She paused, her multifaceted eyes gleaming. "I doubt it." The other aliens continued their laughter, but Marcus remained still, his mind racing. It wasn't the first time he had been taunted, and it certainly wouldn't be the last, but he had bigger concerns. Recent Coalition expeditions had uncovered strange signals coming from the far edges of the galaxy, deep in uncharted space, and though the Coalition dismissed them as background noise, Marcus had a feeling something far more important was out there, something that might change everything. He had received a cryptic message the night before, a tip-off from an unknown source, leading him to coordinates on the edge of the Kepler-9 system. The message had mentioned an ancient starship, long lost to time, filled with relics of immense power. Marcus had shared the coordinates with the Human Exploratory Command, and to his surprise, they had authorized a mission to investigate. Later that evening, Marcus stood in the hangar of the Nebular Dawn, preparing for departure. His ship, the Pathfinder, was a modest vessel by Coalition standards, a long-range scout ship, outfitted with basic defenses and an advanced scanning suite. It wasn't the most impressive craft, but it had served Marcus well over the years. As the engines roared to life, Marcus reviewed the mission details. The Kepler-9 system was a dead zone, a region of space with no known civilizations, no habitable planets, and no resources worth mining. It was the perfect place to hide something valuable, and if the message was to be believed, the ancient starship hidden there held the key to humanity's future. The journey to Kepler-9 took several days, and as the Pathfinder entered the system, Marcus's sensors began picking up strange readings. The system was filled with dense nebulae, swirling with gas and dust, making it difficult to navigate. But amid the clouds, something massive appeared on the scanners. "There it is," Marcus whispered to himself as the silhouette of the ancient starship came into view. It was enormous, larger than any Coalition vessel Marcus had ever seen. Its hull was dark and battered, covered in the scars of ancient battles. The ship seemed almost alive, as if it had weathered centuries of space travel, drifting aimlessly through the void. Marcus guided the Pathfinder closer, scanning for a docking point. As he approached, he noticed something strange. The ship's design was familiar, but not quite human. It bore the hallmarks of advanced human engineering, yet it was far older than any known human technology. Could this be a relic of humanity's forgotten past? As the Pathfinder docked with the ancient vessel, Marcus suited up and prepared to board. He was alone. This was a solo mission, authorized only for a quick reconnaissance. But as he stepped into the airlock and crossed the threshold into the ancient ship, he couldn't shake the feeling that something monumental was about to happen. The interior of the starship was eerily quiet. The corridors were vast, lined with strange symbols and markings that Marcus didn't recognize. The air was stale, but breathable, and the ship's systems appeared to be running on minimal power. As Marcus made his way through the ship, he found himself drawn to a massive chamber at the heart of the vessel. The door to the chamber was sealed, but with some effort, Marcus managed to override the controls. As the door slid open, his breath caught in his throat. Inside the chamber was a suit of armor unlike anything Marcus had ever seen. It was sleek, black as obsidian, and pulsed with an otherworldly energy. The design was unmistakably human, but it radiated a power far beyond anything humanity currently possessed. It was a relic of the past, a remnant of an era when humanity had been far more advanced than the galaxy realized. As Marcus approached the armor, it began to respond to his presence. The plates shifted, the helm opened, and the suit seemed to invite him in. With a deep breath, Marcus stepped forward, allowing the armor to envelop him. The moment the armor sealed around him, Marcus felt an overwhelming surge of power. Information flooded his mind: schematics, battle data, weapon systems, all stored within the suit. This wasn't just armor, it was a weapon, a suit designed for war, capable of enhancing the wearer's strength, speed, and reflexes beyond any biological limit. Suddenly, Marcus understood the significance of what he had found. This armor was the key to humanity's forgotten past, a past in which they had been far more powerful than the Coalition ever realized. The aliens who had mocked humanity for their primitive technology had no idea what they were dealing with. When Marcus returned to the Coalition flagship, the Nebular Dawn, the reaction was immediate. He stepped off his ship, clad in the ancient armor, and the entire docking bay fell silent. The alien officers who had once laughed at him now stared in shock, their arrogance replaced by fear. Skor, the Zelleran officer who had mocked Marcus just days before, took a step back, his yellow eyes wide with disbelief. "Impossible," Skor muttered. That armor, it's not human." "It is," Marcus replied, his voice echoing through the helmet, "but it's older than you can imagine." The Coalition officers watched in stunned silence as Marcus activated the armor's systems. Energy shields flared to life around him, and the air crackled with power. He raised his arm, and a pulse cannon emerged from the armor, glowing with deadly energy. "You thought humanity was weak," Marcus said, his voice cold. "You thought we were primitive, but you have no idea what we're capable of." With a single shot, Marcus fired the pulse cannon into the air, sending a shockwave through the docking bay. The Coalition officers flinched, their confidence shattered. "Remember this moment," Marcus said as he powered down the armor, "because from now on, you'll think twice before mocking a human." And with that, Marcus turned and walked away, leaving the Coalition officers in stunned silence. Humanity had rediscovered its forgotten power, and the galaxy would never be the same. As Marcus left the Coalition officers in stunned silence, his mind raced with new possibilities. The armor was not just a symbol of power, it was a key to unlocking the full potential of humanity. He needed to understand it better, to learn about the era it came from and, more importantly, what humanity had once been capable of. Back on the Pathfinder, Marcus set a course for the nearest human outpost, a remote research station on the edge of Coalition space. The journey took days, and during that time, Marcus began to explore the deeper functions of the armor. It was a marvel of engineering far beyond anything currently known. The suit adapted to his movements, enhancing his strength and reflexes without the need for conscious thought. It even responded to his emotions, amplifying his adrenaline in moments of stress and calming him when needed. But there was more. The suit contained an AI and ancient intelligence, dormant for millennia, that now reawakened with Marcus as its host. Designation: Aegis Protocol. The AI spoke in a calm, neutral voice. "Welcome, Commander." Marcus was startled. "Commander? I'm just a captain." In the era this suit was created, the wearer was known as Commander. "You are now the last surviving bearer of the Aegis." Marcus sat back in his pilot's seat, absorbing the gravity of the situation. "Aegis? What is this armor? Where did it come from?" The AI paused for a moment, as if sifting through vast stores of data before answering. This armor was designed during the height of humanity's first interstellar expansion. It is part of a lost technology known as the Aegis Initiative, an experimental program meant to create super soldiers capable of defending humanity against existential threats. Marcus's heart raced. What happened to them? Why don't we know about this? The Aegis Initiative. along with much of humanity's early technological achievements, was lost during the Great Collapse, an era of widespread conflict, interstellar war, and societal collapse. The knowledge of the Aegis, and many other advanced technologies, was buried with the ruins of the old worlds. You are the first human to rediscover this technology. Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. The history books had always painted a picture of humanity's gradual rise into space, with no mention of a previous golden age of interstellar power. Had his species really fallen so far, only to rise again, ignorant of their true potential? As he neared the human research station, Marcus resolved to share this discovery with his superiors, but deep down, he knew this revelation would change everything. If humanity had once wielded such power, it would not be long before they reclaimed their rightful place in the galaxy. At the research station, Marcus met with Dr. Elena Suarez, one of the top human scientists working on advanced alien technologies. As Marcus explained his discovery, Suarez's eyes widened in disbelief. An Aegis suit? That's impossible, she said, pacing the room. There are myths, old legends about humanity's lost history, but no one ever found proof of the Aegis initiative. This changes everything. Suarez immediately began running scans on the armor, using the station's cutting-edge equipment to analyze its structure and energy signatures. The results were staggering. This suit, it's using technology we've never seen before, Suarez marveled. Quantum-tuned alloys, energy shielding systems beyond anything the Coalition has. This isn't just advanced, it's centuries ahead of anything we've developed. As Suarez worked, Marcus shared his concerns. If the Coalition finds out about this, they'll do everything in their power to take it from us. They already look down on humanity. If they see us as a threat. Suarez nodded. They'll come for us, but this suit could be our advantage. If we can replicate its technology, we could finally stand on equal footing with the Coalition. Marcus's mind raced with the possibilities. Humanity had always been at the mercy of the Coalition's whims, accepted into their alliance only as second-class members. But with the rediscovery of the Aegis initiative, that dynamic could shift. Humanity could reclaim its lost glory, standing not as a species to be pitted, but as one to be feared and respected. Meanwhile, word of Marcus's discovery had already spread through unofficial channels in the Coalition. Skor, furious and embarrassed by his public humiliation, had leaked information about the ancient armor to his superiors. The Zelleran Empire was now watching humanity closely, and they were not pleased. At a secret meeting of the Coalition's most powerful species, the topic of the human discovery was raised. We cannot allow the humans to reclaim this technology, Skor hissed, his yellow eyes glowing with anger. They are too unpredictable, too dangerous. If they gain access to the power of the Aegis initiative, they will become a threat to the entire galaxy. The other members of the council, representatives from species far older and more advanced than humanity, nodded in agreement. The humans have always been resilient, Kelna, the Ultronian ambassador, added. We underestimated them once. We cannot afford to do so again. If they unlock the full potential of their ancient technologies, they could become unstoppable. The council deliberated for hours, weighing their options. Finally, it was decided. A special task force would be dispatched to monitor the humans, and if necessary, to neutralize the threat before it could grow. Back on the research station, Marcus and Suarez had made incredible progress. They had managed to unlock several new features of the Aegis suit, including advanced weapons systems and cloaking technology. But with each new discovery, Marcus felt a growing sense of unease. The Coalition would not sit idly by while humanity grew stronger. Sooner or later, they would act. And then, the inevitable happened. Alarms blared throughout the station as a fleet of Coalition warships appeared on the station's sensors. Marcus's heart sank as he saw the Zelleran insignia on the lead ship. Skor had made his move. They're here, Marcus muttered. We have to get out of here. Suarez quickly gathered her research data while Marcus activated the Aegis suit. He could feel the suit's power surge through him, ready for battle. As the Coalition ships closed in, Marcus led Suarez to the Pathfinder, determined to protect humanity's newfound legacy. The Coalition fleet opened fire as soon as Marcus's ship left the station, but the Aegis suit was more than a match for their weapons. Marcus used the suit's advanced targeting systems to disable the enemy ships with precision strikes, leaving them incapacitated without causing unnecessary destruction. But as the battle raged, Marcus knew this was only the beginning. The Coalition would keep coming, sending more and more ships until they overwhelmed him. The only way to survive was to take the fight to them, to show the galaxy that humanity was not a species to be trifled with. Dr. Suarez, Marcus said over the comms, send word to Earth, tell them everything we've discovered. We're going to need every advantage we can get. Suarez nodded, her voice steady despite the chaos around them. I'll contact the Terran Defense Fleet. They'll be ready. Marcus turned his attention back to the Coalition fleet. The time for fear and hesitation was over. Humanity had been underestimated for too long, but now, with the power of the Aegis Initiative in their hands, they would rise to reclaim their place in the galaxy. As Marcus charged into battle, the Coalition would soon learn a harsh truth: humanity, once mocked and dismissed, had awoken and they would not be stopped. This is the tale of how humanity, once mocked and underestimated, rediscovered the ancient strength of their ancestors. When they found the forgotten starship and its powerful armor, the balance of power in the galaxy shifted forever. Humanity was no longer seen as a primitive species, they were now a force to be reckoned with. A species with a forgotten legacy of power that even the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy could no longer ignore.